What's up, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, up late to record an interview today, and I'm glad to always interview Australian fighters. It's the one time that I never mind staying late to do interviews, and today I'm being joined by Shannon Ross. He'll be fighting at International Fight Week UFC 290, where he takes on Jesus Aguilar. Shannon, it's great seeing you again, man. Really appreciate the time. Glad we're able to connect and do one of these interviews, man.
Yeah, awesome to see you, John, and thanks for having me on again. And yeah, feeling pretty pumped.
So your last fight, we'll get started with that one. That was on a massive card as well. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the first UFC experience that you had. I know a fight didn't go your way, but I mean, a big milestone for you in your career to make the debut, do it in your home country. Sure, still going to be a memory that you'll never forget ever.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, making that debut on a card that I did, UFC 284 in Perth, home soil. Walking out to 16,000 screaming Australian fans backing me was obviously something I'll never forget. Yeah, pretty spewing with the way the fight turned out and how it played out. But yeah, we play this game of fighting, and it's inches, and yeah, you make a little mistake and the kick gets through, and you winded for 10 seconds. 10 seconds after, you're perfectly fine and healthy, and it's just the way it happens sometimes. So yeah, can't take too much from it. Just got to leave it where it was and what happened, and focus on this next one moving forward and performing here on another massive stage, UFC 290 International Fight Week.
And anytime a fighter makes a debut, I know there's a lot of nerves that go into it. Obviously, it's the first time with the new promotion. Every promotion does things differently. For you being in the home country, a massive card, so many nerves that go into it. This time around, now I know obviously coming back over here to the United States, but still, at least you have one UFC fight underneath your belt now. Do you feel more calm and more comfortable now that you've been kind of through the motions of a UFC fight week?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, right? Like, obviously, I know how the UFC Fight Week works now, and I know how the machine rolls and how it all plays out. The media and all the obligations you have there. I've seen that. I've done it. So I'll be a little bit more at home with that now. But also, there's this little bit of extra pressure I've put on myself to go out and get this first W and yeah, solidify this dream of getting to the top of the UFC and chasing that title one day.
And I know your first fight being at home in Australia, not as bad of a travel as coming over here to the United States. So how do you approach the travel? Like, how many weeks early do you plan on getting into Vegas and adjust the time zone and everything else?
Yeah, so yeah, obviously massive flying difference, but we'll get into Vegas probably like that 7-8 days early. Try to climatize and get on that time zone. And I've obviously been out to Vegas before for the Contender Series, and I felt really, really good coming to Vegas. It was the trip home that ended up getting me. So yeah, not too stressed about that. Me and my team have that planned out. So once I get home with that W, we can sleep and relax and get back on Australian time then.
Now, I know you have a great family at home. Are they making the trip over to Vegas with you, or are they going to be staying at home for this one?
Yeah, so looks like I'm going to bring my wife over with me. She'll fly over a couple of days after we head over. But yeah, obviously this is she's been a massive part of my career and backing me and helping me. So it's only right she gets to enjoy this journey as well and be a part of it and get to see the world and what I get to do on the international stage. So my wife's coming. The kids will stay at home. Once I'm home, we'll do a little family vacay and go camping or get a little holiday in and eat some nice food.
And when you land in Vegas, too, obviously the Performance Institute's right there. I know there's a few, obviously, gyms, Syndicate, Extreme Couture, they're also in Vegas. How do you go about the training part of it once you get to Vegas?
Yeah, like obviously the PI's there, so we'll use that and see what we can get from there. And obviously they're pretty well accommodating to us athletes, so we have that up our sleeve. Obviously, there's lots of great gyms in Vegas, so we'll touch base and we'll hook something up. But yeah, you know what fight week's like. The hard work's already done. It's pretty much just keep the body moving, getting healthy and fresh, and getting primed to go on fight night and getting that weight off. And so yeah, nothing too drastic on fight week, but we'll find somewhere where we can keep moving and get the pads and drill and all that sort of stuff. And I've got a fair few people I know in Vegas, like my manager Daniel Rubenstein's there from Ruby Sports, so he will find us a good accommodating gym where we can get the work in.
All right. In the meantime, obviously, you're still in Australia right now. Camp's going on. Just how's camp been?
Yeah, camp's been phenomenal. It's always good to be at home and be around the kids, so I can separate the fighting and the training aspect and enjoy that normal part of life as well. Being with my wife and the kids, and then when I leave that part, I get to 100% focus on what I'm doing in the gym, and so it's been really good. Like right now, I'm just sitting out the front of my boys' school, so 15, 20 minutes, I'll head in and pick him up, and then we'll get a bike ride in the Savo, do some stuff, and then I'll train again tonight.
Yeah, kids always keep you busy, that's for sure. I know it's hard enough being
Yeah.
a full-time athlete, never mind taking care of kids when you get home. I know a lot. Busy schedule there for you. Let's still stick with the fight here now, though, for a moment. Let's talk about your opponent. What have you seen out of him, and what are you kind of expecting on fight night?
Yeah, so obviously me and my team have watched some tape, we've done some study. He come through the contender series as well. He's got a fair few guillotines on his record, so obviously something he likes to attack. Um, short reach, short height, so I think we're going to use that to my advantage in this fight. He likes to sort of leap in with hooks and double up hooks and kicks on the end, and yeah, we got a good game plan to shut all that down and nullify him and use my attributes and my skills. And yeah, definitely looking to put on a clinic and a performance that gets me noticed and lets the world know that I'm here for a reason.
And like we said in the beginning here, this fight is going to be on International Fight Week. I can tell you from experience, I got to do International Fight Week twice as a fan. It's absolutely incredible.
Yep.
It's an amazing week. Obviously, you're going to be fighting. You can't take part of the festivities, but for everybody traveling to it, it really is a big deal, and they make the best of it. Just how much are you looking forward to being able to compete on that big of a stage?
Yeah, it's massive, right? Like obviously coming off 284, which was a massive show back in Australia, first time after 3 years, sold out event, and now I get to make my next fight on International Fight Week, UFC 290 in Vegas, fight capital of the world. All eyes are on this card, right? There's two title fights, obviously the flyweight Brendan Moreno and Pantoja, and then my countryman Volk versus Yair. Rob Whittaker versus Duplessis. It's a massive card. There's killer fights all over it, and for me to be a part of it, it's awesome. The whole world's going to be tuning in and watching, and yeah, I get to make a statement and show the world why I'm here.
And you mentioned right about a few of the countrymen there being on the card. I guess I'll ask this one. I know I asked you before UFC 284 as well. Can all the fans out there expect some Australian domination? You guys are all going home with victories here.
Yeah, like obviously Perth, a couple of us didn't come out on that top side, but it's always gives you that motivation to perform in your next one. So, like Alex is obviously a stud. We've seen how close that fight was. Obviously, people scored it for him. Some people scored it for Islam. You can toss it up in the air. Rob Whittaker, man, the guy I think is like leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else in the division. So to see him getting back to it is going to be phenomenal. We get to fight on the same card as him is awesome for me. Dan Hooker, there's guys from all over Australia fighting, right? So yeah, pretty awesome. Good to have the countrymen there and that camaraderie, and yeah, go to work together and bring home those W's.
All right, man, before you take off, pick up your kid. I just got two more quick things for you. I know you had just mentioned about Alexander Volkanovski back at UFC 284, that close defeat. Obviously, now he's moving back down to defend his featherweight title in a unification bout against Yair Rodriguez, that being the main event for this card, UFC 290. Just want to get your thoughts on that matchup.
Yeah, obviously a very different matchup to his last fight back down at featherweight. Uh, yeah, with the spinning techniques and the flashiness and that sort of what would you call it? he just lets things go and he's so creative. And Alex has said like he feels like this is a much harder fight for him than Islam, where you're defending that wrestling and that aspect there. But yeah, I think Volk gets it done. He's a very smart man. He's the goat. He's very cerebral, and he's got a. I've been watching. He's got a good bunch of guys down in the camp with him at the moment to emulate what he needs, and I think he'll get the job done.
And then just one other one for you, the co-main event that night, Moreno and Pantoja should be another good one there. Just your thoughts on that matchup.
Yeah, I think Brendan Moreno probably gets it done. Hey, like obviously this is their second fight, and I think Pantoja got the first one, so I think Brendan Moreno's got that little bit of wanting to get it back and prove why he's the champ. So I think that's going to be an awesome fight. I'm pretty stoked I get to fight on the card and get to watch the guys at the top fight for the title, and I get to tune in and watch that nice and close. So pretty pumped about that too.
All right, man. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you squeezing this in. Last thing before you head out, social media, so people know where to follow you at. Management, sponsorships, anything like that you got to give shout outs to. Take it away.
Yeah, obviously, first shout out to my manager, Daniel Rubenstein from Ruby Sports. He gets me these epic fights, gets me on these big cards. So, yeah, massive thank you to him. All my sponsors, massive thank you, guys. My team, obviously, my family. This is we go into battle and we fight by ourselves, but it's a community and it's a whole group of people that get us to this point, especially top of the world. So I thank everyone that helps me and backs me, and yeah, UFC 290. Let's go get this W.